So when I saw the video, yes, I was in Parliament, but because it was heckling and counter-heckling, I clearly did not hear even that comment from anybody, but others heard it. So when the video came, others heard it. But at the time, it was difficult to identify
exactly
from the video exactly who made those comments. Because in Parliament, when you speak and you not speak into the microphone, it is not captured by official record. So,
which is the Hansard.
Which is the Hansard. So because the person did not speak or did not say it as part of his or her submission, but it was, let me say, a commentary from behind, not into the microphone. It's even difficult for the table office to capture exactly who made those disparaging, those unfortunate comments about the former president. And I support calls for proper investigations to be done into this matter, for the culprit to be identified. Because where we are today, this Fourth Republic that has been sustained over the period from 1992 till today, over 30 years, you cannot write the history of Ghana. You cannot talk about democracy in this republic without crediting His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. And for many of us, he is not only an icon in Ghana, but he is an icon globally. And he is a man that all of us must join hands to celebrate. And for you to make such comments about him, it is very unfortunate. And I believe that we must investigate and find out who specifically made those comments. Again, why do we even think that the daughter of the former president, an honorable member of the House, serving her third or fourth term, I stand to be corrected, who throughout her political career has maintained high level of decency? And I tell people that if you're looking for members of parliament who have lived up to expectation, who are so decent, even in their choice of words and in their conducts, the Honorable Zanetor Ajiman Rawlings is one of such members of parliament. So, without any provocation, she's on her feet to speak, and you describe her in those terms and say those unfortunate or make those unfortunate remarks. I think that it is an indictment on the entire House of Parliament, and we must make sure that we identify the member of Parliament who said that from the side of the minority, and the person must face sanctions. I am of the view that the minority leadership should help identify the person.
The culprit.
The culprit, because it came from their side. And clearly when you watch the video, even the minority leader himself, Honorable Afenyomakin, was not happy about the comment. Because you could see the expression on his face and his reaction when he turned back, tried to attempted shutting the person up. But the video could not capture who made the comment, but it captured his reaction. And so it tells you that even the leadership or the minority leader himself is not or was not pleased with such an unfortunate remark about President Jerry John Rawlings of blessed memory. So let's identify the person for the person to face some sanctions, because regardless of whatever disagreements that we may have, regardless of where you belong politically, there are some comments that are unacceptable and they must not be tolerated. And some of these things goes to create bad image for the entire parliament, because we work as a unit, we work as a house. And so I want to plead with the minority leadership to help us identify the culprit, so that the person who faces some sanctions, or the person himself, to act in good faith, come out, own up to those words and apologize. And what is even more worrying is that when you pay attention to the video, after the person made the initial comment, it appears as though somebody may have corrected or alerted him that this comment is not in place. Then the person retorted again, claiming that they have evidence. I don't know if you paid attention.
Yes, I heard that.
We said that again.
I heard that.
That say there were evidence or something like that. Please. We are members of parliament representing our various constituents. We are representing the good people of Ghana. Some conduct, some actions are expected of us, because where we have been placed by virtue of this constitution is a privileged position. And we must act right so that the dignity of the house is protected. We can have our disagreements. We can argue on the house. Look, I recall that a couple of weeks ago, when we were taking through orientation, we had leadership of both sides speaking to us during orientation. And one of the comments that, profound comments that Honorable Afenyomakin made, and because I am NDC, I'm taking from the others, I said, look, in this house, tempers may get high. In this house, we will disagree and we always disagree to agree. But in all our actions, we should remember that when you are a member of parliament, your conduct can be taken as a reflection of the entire house. And so if we know all of these things and we cannot live up to our own words, and we use such words on the floor of the house, we describe the former president in this manner, it is very unfortunate. Parliament can do well to identify the culprit. But I'm saying again that the culprit, the said MP, must act in good faith, come out, own up to his words, take responsibility, apologize, so that you save all of us this difficult task of trying to identify whose voice it is. So far, 2 MPs have been accused. All of them, both of them came out to deny. They first accused the Honorable Abu Jinapo. He came out with a disclaimer. Then the Honorable Asafo Eje, MP for Bosomi Freo, he also came out to issue a disclaimer strongly that it is not his voice. Whose voice is it? Because that voice clearly did not come from the public gallery. We were all in the house. We would have heard it. If it came from the public gallery, everybody, even in the video, would have seen that. It came from the minority side. We should be able to identify who made those comments. And I want to thank the chiefs of Anglo-Land. I saw their press statement yesterday. And when you talk of Anglo-Duko, Ketu North is part.
Okay.
Ketu South is part.
Before you even go ahead with this, I think that let me just read the statement for our viewers who have not chanced upon it, who have not cited it, so that it can put your commentary on it in a proper perspective. So you can see that the Speaker of Parliament, Parliament House, Accra, Ghana, dear sir, petition to help identify the Member of Parliament who uttered the blasphemous words with "Shut up, you daughter of a murderer," during the approval session of vetted ministers on Tuesday, 4th February 2025. I hereby petition your esteemed office in my capacity as the Awadada of Anglo-Duko, acting on behalf of the Abadada, of the Anglo-Duko, acting on behalf of the Awo Mafia, Togwisri III, the overlord of the Anglo-Duko, and also on behalf of the chiefs and people of Anglo-Land. It will be recalled that during the approval session of Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, there was a heated fury Okay, heated about the few, the two. Anyway, so furore in Parliament that evening. In the state of the furore, Ghanaians and other persons all over the world who were glued to their TV sets and listening on their radio sets heard an honorable member shouting defamatory and obscene words to wit, shut up, you the daughter of a murderer, ostensibly as said as Honorable Zanetor Ajima Rawlings, who is the eldest daughter of the illustrious son of Anglo-Land. And please lift the thing up so that I can, good. And a former president of the Republic of Ghana. Our information pointed earlier to Honorable Abu Jinapo, a member of Parliament for Damango constituency in the Savannah region, and one Honorable Nana Kwame Asafo JMP for Bosome Freho. Both have denied being the authors of the alleged obscene and defamatory comment. The overlord of Anglo Duko, Togisi III, and the chiefs and people of Anglo Duko are furious about the unfortunate development in the August House and are desirous of identifying the member of parliament who made the disparaging remarks against the son of Anglo-Land to help us advise ourselves as to the next step to take. The Anglo Duko will be grateful if our request is granted and the said individual is identified on or before the 10th of February 2025, which is just in 3 days' time. So since yours sincerely, Togbi Agbesi Awusu III, the Awadada, right? Abadada of Anglo Duko, copied Awumafia Togbi III, Anglonga, Honorable Zanetor Ajima Rawlings, Member of Parliament for the Klote Kole Parliament and then also Parliament House, Accra. So that's the statement which has been issued by the Anglo chiefs.
And the statement is in place because before his demise, President Rawlings was a chief within the Anglo Duko Council because he is an Anglo.
Right.
President Rawlings is highly revered, not just within the Anglo Council, but beyond this continent. And so for anyone, any member of parliament, to spew such blasphemous words against the son of the Anglo-Land in that manner, it must not be tolerated. Okay. We will not tolerate it if it is done to any other former president or leader of the republic. And you see, what is very surprising is that a couple of weeks ago or days ago, the minority in parliament demanded an apology from the Honorable Ama Kofi Boa for describing President Akufo-Addo's tenure. He did not describe President Akufo-Addo in this manner. He described his governance in a way that they saw to be unpalatable and demanded an apology, for which reason they were against his approval. So imagine, because I'm on the majority side, I say 8 people died in the 2020 elections, which President Akufo-Addo ultimately benefited from because he was the president that sworn in. Is that enough ground for me to describe President Akufo-Addo as a murderer? How would the NPP have reacted if I described President Akufo-Addo as a murderer? And so you demanded an apology for people from an MP who described your governance as terrible, described President Akufo-Addo's governance as one that is a classical example of how not to govern. That you found offensive. And yet you are shielding a colleague who spewed this blasphemous words against President Rawlings. I think that is unacceptable, and the minority must produce the culprit. Mr. Speaker has been petitioned. I also know that there was a petition from the constituency, the Krole Kote constituency.
Yeah.
And many others may be on their way coming. People are asking that if Parliament indeed is interested in protecting the dignity of the House, we should be able to produce the culprits. And now, if you are a man, and you claim, even in the video, that you had evidence, come out and take responsibility for your words.
Okay.
You don't say these things about President Rawlings and be allowed to go scot-free. The Speaker is currently out of the jurisdiction, but I believe that this matter will not be glossed over or swept under the carpet. Whatever it is, we will do our best to identify the culprit. This may sound as a warning, but it is not. I know Abadada, Togbi Agbesi Awusu, and I know Togbi Sri and all the other chiefs within the Anglo Council.
Yeah.
It is in our best interest to produce the culprits before the 10th February that they have stipulated in their letter. Right. It is in all of us our collective best interest.